Hello, welcome to Accountability Fridays. If you're on Instagram, just a reminder, these will be uploaded to YouTube over the weekend. So thanks to Zeonium and Mr. Harrison for that. So today, guys, we're talking every Friday. I would like to, I'll check in with some of my training I did previous in the week, especially as I move back up to basically full 100%. So while I was checking there, we're going to talk kind of about Harrison's training, how we're going to bump up to twice a week. Next week, and also start giving him some homework. If you're ever trained with me online too, I use this great online app called Trainerize, so I'm going to prescribe him some at-home workouts using that. And then we're going to wrap up talking about my DEXA scan. Got that previous to the bicep tear, and then most recently at the end of January. So kind of want to show some of those numbers, what changed during the bicep tear, maybe things I did differently that helped stay healthy, right? And keep my body fat down and try to hold on to as much muscle as I could during the recovery process. So we'll kind of pop into workouts this week. So got back from Florida with Audrey Monday night. So first day of training was Tuesday. I jumped into kind of a push-pull workout. I benched 185 for 4 sets of 6 reps. I most recently, 2 weeks ago before Florida, I did, I think, 215. Still haven't touched 2 plates, but I will say bench, even before the injury, was probably still the most foreign. Feels even more foreign now. Squat feels great. I was still consistently hitting that even pretty much 4, 6, 8 weeks after the injury. So bench is still getting there, feeling comfortable with that. We'll continue to build up on that. I think the important thing is building my stabilizer, so doing more of the earthquake bar bench if you don't have that, doing the barbell with double up a red, hang some 25, 50, whatever on the sides. Okay, but building that back up. But I know more reps. I'm going to feel more and more confident, and I know I'll be back to hopefully benching high 200s, close to 300 here again soon, and still chasing that 3-plate 315 bench. I'm confident that the deadlift will come back around. A lot of it's just positioning because I haven't been doing it, and I don't necessarily think it's too much of a weakness. I really, really believe that training my squat and that belt squat will help carry over to the deadlift. My best deadlift was 4 years ago now. It was 650 in competition. Recent pulls, I did 618, 619 at the meet I competed at after the bodybuilding show. So that, I'm confident that, I really believe that by the end of this year, December, I'll be able to pull 600. Okay. Now the question is can I hold it overhead? We'll see. So a lot of grip training. Something I want to do maybe on the next Friday is get some people on and talk more grip training specifically. Some people I know who have strong forearms, strong grips that really kill this overhand. Okay. But that was pretty much it for me on training this week. Feeling confident. Hit some great arms at Old School this morning. Going to support them tonight. The Old School Brown Ale is coming out. Really excited about that. Shout out to those guys. Just going through this. I've been consistently, at least twice a week now, throwing on the vest. High incline walk, that's been really helping. My work capacity goes up, and what I mean is like throughout, I don't find myself fatiguing throughout the workout as much. On Wednesday, I back squatted and sumo deadlifted, something I don't typically do, and wasn't too fatigued by that. And I just think cardiovascular has increased a little bit because I did lead into that a lot during the injury. So this is my giant workout journal. It's a little too big. I don't take it to the gym now. I just write in my phone, come home, journal a little bit about the workout, talk about how it felt too, these things. So this has been really positive. I've put some videos out there. Really, really make sure you're writing down your workouts. Harrison's workouts have been going well, I'd say, right?
Yes, sir.
He is here with me Friday. We worked out, what was it, Tuesday last week? Okay, or this week, I guess. He was
feeling the burn.
Yeah, we did definitely a more lower focus workout, so his lower half was feeling a little sore.
Hey, do you want to do comments or questions towards the end?
Sure, I'm happy.
Or do you want to get on this?
Pop them in? Yeah, let's pop them in while
we have a comment from EJ.
Oh, EJ, my man, all right.
He says, how did the bicep tear happen again? Was it deadlifting?
Yeah, good question, EJ. I guess like a lot of people, if you're checking in now, probably don't know the full story. So October, spooky stuff. The stance was, I was actually conventional, and we were pulling through red minis. Okay, so as you deadlift up, right, more tension at the top, right? And we were also at a deficit. So, not that I know a ton about bicep tears, but with that move, that variation, it's a lot more range of motion, right? So you're staying farther away from the bar and so much more extra tension. And I get this question a lot, but it was the supinated arm, and the surgeon confirmed this, but he said 99% of the time, guy comes in and it happens from deadlifting, it's generally on the supinated grip. So I guess here's my 2 cents about that. I would say this even before the tear, especially with my in-person clientele. If you're training that switch grip more than 5, what I challenge you is as you work up in the warm-up sets, right? Maybe it's 135, 185, whatever it is for you, right? Something that still feels light. Maybe each week, every other week, right? Challenge yourself to go one more warm-up set, that overhand, okay? Maybe one week you do RDLs, okay, a lighter weight, all overhand, okay? And just really encourage yourself. And the last thing I would say is maybe even switch your grip to the other side, okay? But it's a one-off. It's fucking powerlifting. Shit happens. So, EJ, good question. I think at the end of the day, though, it probably could have happened on a fucking bicep curl if I was doing it heavy enough. So, good question. I would just say pop questions in as we go through. So,
okay, I got you.
Back to Harrison's training. This week went well. We're actually, after this week, it's been about a month now. Once a week, we're going to bump it up to 2 times a week. That's 1 hour with me. And I have it, if you've ever trained with me online, I use this awesome app. It's called Trainerize. It kind of brands itself. But Harrison's going to be on that, getting some homework for at home to do. And this could just be as simple as walking around downtown here in Columbus, getting some extra movement in. Okay. So we'll expect more out of Harrison. We're going to get him on here soon, kind of get his point of view, how the training's been going. Okay. We're going to jump into DEXA scanning now. So I want to preface, I got this a little bit before the injury, and really just was getting a check-in. So there was no reason that prompted this. Curious what my body fat was. So when I read this, end of October, middle October, beginning of October here, body fat read at 15.2%. Okay, this is before bicep tear. I was coming off the last competition was end of May, bodybuilding and powerlifting the same weekend, May 7th and 8th. Okay. So last competition was, about 5 months before all this, I guess. So 15% seems about right to me. These all vary. These also take into a lot more of the total fat in the body. Okay, so what we'll compare is kind of where I went weight-wise, body fat-wise, and then the second reading was on, where's it at here? I think it was in very end of January. January 19th. Okay, so a little bit of time. I'm gonna try to really commit to doing these every 3 to 4 months. Okay, I think this would be a helpful process of checking because now I'm on the other side of it where I'm training again, right? So we had a middle point. I would like to at least get one more to show you. All right, I'm back training early mornings, right? Consistently 4 or 5 times a week, 6 times maybe. Okay, so initial body fat reading was 15.2%. Okay, now comparatively. On January 19th, so this is, I guess, about 8, 9, almost 10 weeks after the bicep tear, okay? So the sling was off, or the brace was off probably for about 2 weeks here at this point. So I dropped about 2 pounds, so I weighed in initially in October at 194.7, and then January was 192.8, so almost 2 pounds lost, okay? And next I'm going over to my fat mass. Okay, I had 28.4 pounds of fat mass on October. Stayed the same, which I was really pumped to see. Gave me a lot of confidence, 28.4 in January, okay. The weight loss was actually in muscle, okay, and the great thing about Grandview Primary Care is their DEXA scan kind of breaks down arm, leg, shows you kind of the unilateral side, maybe where there's deficiency, and actually most of that, almost 1.5 pounds muscle came from loss in the left arm, which is expected, right? Probably a little bit of tricep, shoulder, but upwards of that area. So I was really happy to see that, right? Expectations was bicep probably wasn't going to grow too much being in the brace, okay? The awesome thing, Sarah and Audrey pointed out to me over there, and this made me feel really confident, was the big decrease over October to January I really want to highlight today was my visceral fat went down, fat around your organs, okay? These big things can be changed by eating healthier, right? Maybe sleeping more, exercising, obviously, right? My exercise, I would say, probably went down. I was doing other things, though, like instead of lifting heavy weights, intensity-wise, max effort, right? I was going for 30, 60-minute walks, right? Very consistently, every day almost. I was still at those points, even early on, the first 8 weeks, lifting a little bit, 2-3 times a week, a little bit of lower body, some upper body, okay? So the visceral fat, my fat mass on October was 0.83, okay? And it decreased about half in the January reading, 0.41. I think these are lower numbers still, but relatively speaking, it decreased in half, and I think big reasons here, I was obviously focused on a little more sleep. If you know me, I train early in the morning. If I'm not at old school, I'm still training about 4:35, where we train clients at Grandview, okay? So, I think getting a little more focus on the sleep was helpful with that number. Once again, the number in October was still great, not too concerned there, but still showing that, hey, I did have an improvement in health over this bicep tear period, and I focused on things like walking. My diet definitely improved, right? I would say caloric expenditure probably went down a little bit. I wasn't lifting as much as I was, but still very on my feet with clients. I'm training 5, 6, 7, 8 clients a day, right? Those hours I'm on my feet moving around, changing weights, these things. So I was really happy to see that number. These things in January, I remember these times I was still kind of coming out of the sling. These were times where, I was still trying to build that confidence back up, getting back into the gym, getting just back into old school at that point. So that really helped propel me and make me feel a little more confident. With that said, I think it's important if you can take your fat mass, right? I'm not big on that number on the scale, right? Let's, the relative change, right? Especially building lean mass, right? That's going to be a healthier option for you. Don't worry so much about this number, how much you weigh, right? Worry about the relative change in body fat, okay? Other than that, in the DEXA scan, I don't think there's too much more I wanted to cover. I mean, I honestly thought I probably lost more in my arm than a pound and a half, but I'm really excited to see kind of what that number looks like here in the next month or two. I'll probably do another scan. I've been regularly getting my blood work done at Grandview Primary Care too, so I'm excited to share out some of those results. We'll probably do those on another, I think, Accountability Friday, but I'm going to start doing that regularly every 3 or 4 months too, right? I think the best thing that came out of this bicep tear is kind of woke me up to my health. I'm self-employed. Basically, the first 3 years of training with Zach, I had, as my mom would call it, get hit by a train insurance. It was basically out of pocket, monthly, high deductible, all this. And had that during the bicep tear. I was like, oh shit, I compete in this extreme sport, may have another injury at some point, probably should get better healthcare. So invested in that. So, this year it's been a big, hey, going to the gym, eating all the right foods are great, but really what is everything else saying, right? I'll be honest with you, I'm not a great sleeper. We got a question here soon.
Yeah, Tim Stevens says, how's the bicep?
All right, bicep is great. Also, I should note, we're recording all this, so if you're not able to join early in the live, this will all be on YouTube. Harrison and I will get these up this weekend, okay? But to recap a little bit, Tim, the bicep has been great. This week I got a couple pull-ups for the first time. That was something I tried. What I told myself, if I'm deadlifting around 300 now, feeling confident with that, my body weight's around 185 right now, right, should be able to get into this position. I will say when I was doing the pull-ups though, I was in the pronated grip pull-up, right, chin up supinate, and not ready to get in that point. When I still supinate, I still feel a lot of tight and tension, and truthfully, probably could maybe get one, but it's the confidence, right, and that's what I'm leaning into, and I think if there's a message to take away from today's Accountability Friday, it's, hey, lean into a little more each week. I'm not trying to jump to this chin up yet. I got 3 pull-ups on Thursday yesterday. I'm going to do 5 next week.
Is it scary for you too to jump up there on a bar and hang from your
I think what I struggled with is I still never got into what they call this dead hang position. So meaning very passive and just hanging. I do not feel comfortable getting to that spot yet, right?
Because that puts a lot of tension.
Yeah, right. So when I was doing my pull-ups, I was still, the concentric, the pulling up portion, I wouldn't fully unlock. So it would be bam, bam, right? I wasn't fully hanging. So confidence not quite there yet. I mean, I'm going to try probably around mid 300s deadlift for 2 or 3 reps this coming week.
Do you want to show off your scar too?
So, yeah, sure. I'd love to. Scar, well, it's a little pretty.
It's not that big though. I would have thought it was bigger.
Well, I think another day we'll show it off a little more.
Okay, I got you.
We'll get some. We'll do a behind the scenes.
Yeah, I got
my
you.
Scar. Size doesn't matter, but I've actually compared my scar size to a lot of other guys that have had this injury, and it's seems a lot smaller than most.
Yours does?
Yeah, smaller. Okay. Yeah, I did have I had quite a keloid on my scar because it did get infected twice. If you followed me a little bit, about a month after the injury, I got into a hot tub. Not supposed to do that after you get surgery.
Oof.
Honestly,
Did it touch the hot wire?
Yeah, like the problem was like hot tubs just ain't the cleanest thing in the world. So.
Right.
So it's okay. But I got in, and I'm not going to lie, I'm still happy I got in there. I'm happy my arm didn't have to get cut off. But it was the first time I let my arm kind of like open up and swing, and it was nice in the water. So whatever. But got a few keloids on there, so it's cool.
Was it worth it?
The hot tub or the bicep tear?
Not the bicep tear. Was the hot tub worth it?
The hot tub was worth it. Once again, it just like felt good. It was like the first time I let my arm kind of like hang open, right? Yeah, so that was like a month out, but very dumb of me to get in there with a new incision. But yeah, so I think I forget where I was going with that, but
I think what were we talking about right before that? You were talking about just like recovery and stuff, and then we jumped into the question. So.
Yeah, so next week, plan is old school, we'll try probably 365 overhand. My best double overhand is around, I think 465, 4.25. That's for 1 rep. So next week will be 2 to 3 reps. I'll probably commit to 6 sets again around 3. Even take 355. What I was saying was like lean into, if there's a message to take away from today, lean into asking a little more each week, right? And that's all I'm committing to. I can tell you it's like just as satisfying. Remember when I got my first pull-up, it's just as satisfying now getting 3 again. So I'm confident. Confidence building each week. I'm going to celebrate tonight at Old School. We're going to 3 Tigers Brewing. Excuse me. Old School Ale's coming out. I'm excited. I'm going to hang with the guys. So
they're coming out with
their own beer. It's a little
that's sick.
Collab. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm not quite I don't know a ton about beer, but it looks like it's
I was going to say, I'm not a beer guy really either.
Pretty cool. No, I mean, I like beer. I like to drink beer. I just can't say I know a lot.
Okay, I got you.
I'm like I'll drink Guinness, I'll drink anything, really.
Right.
So, maybe I'll bring some tequila tonight. I told some of those guys. So, but yeah, so I think that's really all we have for Accountability Friday this week. I appreciate those who logged on. Once again, if you want to watch this back, it'll be on YouTube. Train with Zach on YouTube. We'll clip a lot of this stuff for Instagram too. But hopefully this grows. This is
we got 7 people in here too. So if anyone else has a question, I think
the beanbag talk. Yeah, if there's any questions for a little bit, I guess we don't have to jump too quick yet.
All right, Asher's in here too. What's up, Asher?
Asher, we tried to call you, man. We heard you live by. Asher, I've trained Asher too. Asher goes back to Capitol High.
Asher had a different injury, but similar, detrimental.
It was hamstring, right?
yeah.
Which is also another bicep in your body,
right?
The bicep to curl, your hamstring curls your lower leg up, right? I do remember that. That was a few years back now. So, seen any questions?
He said, "Hey, baby, I didn't get no call." That was me. Did I not call you?
Harrison called you. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Asher,
you know I FaceTime you.
The floor is open up for any questions. We'll stay live for like a minute more if anybody has any questions about recovery or anything.
Recovery, bicep tear, body fat. Arnold. I think this first year I didn't go to the Arnold in probably like 6 or 7 years. I was not gonna lie, I'm kind of happy I didn't go. It's just always hectic mess. Harrison lives basically in the mix, and said he just like barricaded. He literally said he didn't know what's happening. And barricaded himself in, which is probably smart. It gets pretty crazy down here in Columbus. I'm lucky enough to live pretty close to Convention Center. Harrison, you literally live right there. I've always walked, and it's like such a great time, but it can be overwhelming if you're driving there and all these things. But if that's it, any questions?
I think we're good.
All right, awesome. Well, appreciate you guys logging on. Once again, on YouTube here this weekend, if you want to watch back. But we'll go live every Friday.
Oh, wait, we do have one more question.
2 p.m. Yeah.
There is a bit of a delay. I don't know how long
that's okay.
it is.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
I'll figure that out.
That's all good.
Asher says, outside of rest and PT, what did you do to optimize recovery on the bicep tear? Because you have recovered well.
Yeah, sure. I really leaned into massage therapy helped. I have an awesome physical therapist that we tried things like dry needling. I don't know if that's something you guys have tried before, but I was a big advocate of that. If you know me personally, I'm not very good with needles, so it was like tough for me to lean into that a little bit, but that has been really, really helpful. I have met people who have torn their bicep. My cousin actually, I saw my cousin tear his bicep 2 years ago. Kyle Fulford, he was actually doing a rope swing into the lake, tore his bicep. Same injury. I used his brace, no PT during the entire process. He's great now. He's 2 years post-surgery. But he and I compared a lot of things, and I think he was a lifter too. He's a college hockey player, very active guy, fit guy. And he had a little more issues. Just, his doctor actually said no PT, which is like the craziest thing to me. So, I didn't do anything too outside the box. I really focused on just like staying very positive, Asher. I think things like that were, for me, I like to work out. So I wasn't going to the gym, right? Walking, these types of things. So beyond that, just stretching, the dry needling really helped.
What is that too?
Dry needling. It's
like acupuncture?
Remember, I'm a personal trainer, not a physical therapist. I'm just kidding. So basically, to my understanding, what happens during the dry needling process is that the needle goes into the muscle belly. It makes the muscle fire and creates this reaction as if it were working, right? Okay. I've heard of people who, like ACL, some of the specific things I've heard is people get these ACL injuries, they get dry needling done, and the muscle doesn't atrophy as much as compared to someone who was not getting dry needling. Right?
Is it painful?
Excuse me if I missed that. Not really, but I'm so squeamish with needles that
I get it.
I felt it. And the craziest thing is when it's in your arm, because you let it sit in your arm they'll put like 5 or 6 in your arm at a time. I know Audrey's like had a lot of success with her dry needling too. Shout out Alyssa Coons at Grandview Primary Care too. She's been really great. But what was crazy in the dry needling is in the arm, and I would flex my hand, you can feel the muscle tighten around the specific needle. It's one of the craziest things. But I'd recommend dry needling to anyone maybe experiencing inflammation, tightness. I mean, that's the problem I still have. It's just general tightness.
Right.
My mobility is about back. Now it's just really getting the muscle to open up a little more now. So
that's awesome. Good question.
Yeah, Asher. Thanks, Asher. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, thank you again for Accountability Fridays. We'll be back here next Friday on my beanbag. Maybe we'll start calling it beanbag talk. I kind of like that, or beanbag. T. Frank, my good buddy, he said chats. What did he say? Chats with Chet. So I don't know if I want my alter ego to come out too much here, but we'll see. So
you might have to make an appearance.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, thank you again. Happy Friday. Be safe this weekend.